affirmation today. I make a difference. This morning, I wanted to start with going over some of the basic unity principles. And unity is new thought, and our fellowship is new thought. And I don't know if you were here the day when I was talking about the really odd coincidence that it was back in the early 1920s when the Fillmores were establishing the Unity Church back in Kansas, and at the same time, Dr. and Hattie Garlish were forming their church here, and they were both based on New Thought principles. I think possibly the fact that one of the tenets of our fellowship was Dr. and Hattie had said that none of the pastoral staff can be compensated. You all have to go out and work. So there weren't a lot of ministers flocking to come and make a living here. So that's probably one of the reasons we're not as big as the Unity Church. Not as big in size, but certainly as big in our faith and our spirituality. So when we talk about unity, or when I talk about unity, we're really one and the same. Our belief system is very much the same. People ask, well, what are some of the basic fundamentals? And I came across some of the 5 basic unity principles, and it's up here too. So I wanted to go through these really briefly. So we start with God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. So we want to be cautious that we don't leave here and think, well, I'm at the workplace, I'm on my desk. Oh, my faith, that's not going to help me. That doesn't have anything to do here. I remember years ago when I was starting my company, my billing agency, I would come to church on Sunday and be very filled, and then Monday I'd show up at work and I'd be in the hustle and bustle and the grind, and I'd think, oh, that has nothing to do with it. And of course, it took me several years to understand that has everything to do with it. And when I turned that around and I brought that thinking and that way of thinking into my Monday through Friday life, that things turned around, and just incredible prosperity and happiness in what I was doing came to me. So God is everywhere in everything. Also, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and everywhere. So, a lot of people, unfortunately, they grow up, maybe they heard some discouraging things, or they were told they were just a bad child or a bad seed. You know what? Let go of that thinking and know you are naturally good because God's divinity is in you and in everyone. Next, I create my experience by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe and say, because the words, the things that we let pass our lips, create our reality too. So this is a very big tenet in New Thought, is that our experiences, the life that we live, is based on what we choose to think and feel and believe. Next, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in life. So a lot of times when I talk about all the good things and the positive thinking, and I talk about the tools we have, these are the tools we have. We have affirmative prayer and meditation, and also the affirmations that we use. So we have all these things to connect ourselves with God and connect to this higher good that we know that we are, that we can be. And finally, I do give my best by living the truth that I know. And I talk about that a lot, that we should go out into the world. We take what we know here on Sunday and we live lives of example, because we know we're not a proselytizing faith. We don't put up, we don't go on roller skates and try to get people on the corner. We lead by example. People say, wow, that person is so happy and prosperous and everything is good. How can I be like that? And then we share with them. So I do and give my best by living the truth that I know. I make a difference. And I thought that was very poignant to bring up today, because this weekend, of course, we're honoring fallen heroes. And in life, a lot of times we see people who do things that seem really big, and maybe we feel small in their shadow. And I've talked about this before and had some frowns because people are, well, you're diminishing the value of those who sacrifice their lives. And certainly we're not doing that. What we're doing, though, is making sure that people don't fall into this hero worship where they discount the difference that they make in life, because we all make a difference. We don't all have the opportunity to go and fight for our country, or we don't all have the opportunity to have, tremendous resource to donate millions of dollars to the people in Oklahoma. So, and we might look at that and feel, oh, I don't have that. But because of the tenet is unity principle number 3, I create my experience by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. So know that you do make a difference. We are mothers, fathers, we are aunts, we are uncles, we are daughters, we are sons, we are neighbors, we are co-workers, we are best friends. We make a difference in so many different ways, in so many different things that we do. So it's important to always realize I make a difference. So our question for the week, as you're going through the week and you're going through your daily chores, is how do I connect with God and bring out the good in my life? So knowing that you do make a difference, just stop and think of all the things that you do that do make a difference. And in those ways, you are a good example of our faith. And in that way, you connect with God, you bring out the good in your life, and the lives of others, because we all make a difference and we have that option to bring out the good not only in our lives but in the lives of others. And I was reading, because a big part of our faith is to be positive and uplifted all the time and very happy. And the reality is there are circumstances and situations that we're going to come upon. Somebody passes away, or, there's a tragedy somewhere. So you're not going to walk into the funeral parlor, bouncing and happy and, spouting all of our positive thought. We can have that, but we have to realize at a time that just because something tragic happens and we're not exhibiting that, we're being respectful of the situation that's there, but that doesn't lessen the importance of our New Thought faith. And I was reading in actually Unity magazine, a similar situation where a minister was called to assist a family, and the question had to come up later from another person who was there, who was observing, and was saying, well, where's your happy buoyancy that, is supposed to be part of your faith? How can you say that you hold on to that? Well, and of course it wasn't appropriate. And so it's important to realize that those circumstances and situations are going to be there. Somebody asked to speak with me, a casual acquaintance, because a friend of his had died and he was feeling sad and he didn't know what to do to get over that. And sometimes you just have to explain to people that's a natural human reaction. If you weren't sad, I'd be worried. So there's nothing to worry about that you're feeling sad, because that's a perfectly natural human emotion. And it's just something that we have to walk through. So, I worry sometimes people think that we have the magic words, that we're going to change everything. We're human like everybody else. We walk through the same human experience. But again, back to our principle number 3, we create our experience by what we choose to think and feel and believe. And the reality is that it's perfectly acceptable to feel bad or sad when something tragic happens. So, don't be discouraged and feel like, oh, I'm losing touch with my faith because I don't have that magic word to turn this situation around, because it's just a phase of life that we all go through. So as you're going through your week, again, ask yourself, how do I connect with God and bring out the good in my life and the lives of others? Because remember, I make a difference. And the good news is that we all make a difference. Each and every one of us is a unique, precious, beloved child of God. Every one of us, from the revered and honored soldier who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country, who we remember and memorialize today, as well as the overlooked, who work every day to bring out the good in their lives and the lives of others. So if it's the coworker who smiles and adds a little encouragement, they also make a difference. So in everything you do and everything we are, we make a difference. And the good news is that we always make a difference. And in doing so, we connect with God and we bring out the good in our lives and the lives of others.